Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Amsterdam Business Show. My name is Chris Pastrana, and today I'm here with Lisa Popa of New Edge Web Services. How's it going, Lisa?
It's going good.
Yeah, now that I got the name right.
It helps.
Oh, that's too funny. So, okay, so let's get a little background on you and the company and all that.
Okay, so I am currently a web designer, but wasn't always one. I started out actually working, believe it or not, in accounting and finance. And that was really great, but it was boring. I would always automate my job. So I went into business analysis, implementing business systems, and got really frustrated with people saying, but I hate how it looks. I hate how it works. It doesn't work well. I thought, oh, there's an issue. You know, when you go on to a website or an app, you want it to work well. So I thought, I'm looking for something new because doing consulting, I was on the road a lot and I got tired of being in a hotel room 3 or 4 days a week. I said, I'm going to go learn something new. So I decided to focus on learning user experience design and also learning some front-end coding. The other thing at New Edge Web Services, I work with my husband, who has gone back to school, and he now is a full-stack developer. So I've got him to do a lot of the heavy lifting on code.
Yeah.
So I do all the fun stuff with design, which he's perfectly happy to let me do this, and he does code. And so far, it's been working out okay.
Yeah. So, first question I always ask in this situation is, how is it working with your spouse?
And I always say, people ask me that a lot, actually. I get that quite a bit.
Yeah.
And remarkably well.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think it can always work with everybody. Not all married couples can work together. Mm-hmm. I've been married before, transparency there. And I gotta say, my ex-husband, I probably, no. But with Gabe, my husband, my business partner, my partner in crime, it works really well. We have a lot of respect for each other's skills, and we understand the boundaries. It's good, and I think we're different enough in our approaches that it adds to the party. When I give him a design, sometimes he pushes back on parts of it to say, either make it more or make it less because of issues with code. And sometimes I push him in a way for more code, because it's like, the design's going a certain way. I want that design, and it needs to happen this way. And he'll be like, I get the look. But I push him a little bit, and, I think we know how to push each other without pushing each other's buttons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really funny, because actually was the first thing I wrote down was, we were talking a little bit about WordPress beforehand. It's kind of a little more plug and play type thing.
Yeah.
But when you have custom, I'm sure you could be like, oh, it needs to look like this, and it's like, oh, I don't think I can design that. On the code end, I don't know if I can put that together.
I've gotten that from him a couple times where he's like, I said, I know you can figure this out. And that's been the thing with him is whenever you give him anything with code, he just automatically figures it out. Then he goes back and cleans it up, makes it more efficient. I'm like, that's even better, because websites need to load quick. So he's good at making sure that we try to make sure we have things that load really well, because no one wants to sit there and hang around waiting for a website to load.
Yeah.
So we do. It works out. Like I said, I have done that to him. He's like, and then he comes back in and gets all excited because he figures it out. It's like, oh, this is cool. I said, I know.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So let's get into that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Custom websites. Mm-hmm. I think I don't know how prevalent this is in the industry, but things like, what's a big one? Wix.
Yep.
Then you get WordPress, and some other ones are very...
Well, you have those what they call the website builders.
Yeah.
There's Wix, Weebly, I think Shopify might be another one.
Yeah,
Google, GoDaddy.
Yeah.
They are very plug and play. What they give you is a template.
Mm-hmm.
And they own that template. So really, you own any content you add. But if you take any photos from them, they own those still. So you put in your content and you make it up the way you want it to be. But what you don't get is a lot of design. You get pre-configured stuff, and if you work within that configuration, it's okay, but it tends to either come out, it can be very cookie cutter, or if you try to customize it without taking the time to understand the design principle behind it, your message gets lost. Messaging is what you have a website for. You're trying to send a message out to a customer or potential customer to become a customer.
Yeah.
So they're out there. If someone's on a really tight budget and can't afford a website, through a designer, I would recommend starting there. It gets your domain locked up, so you have your domain name. It gets you started. But I would strongly recommend working with a designer as soon as you can. And the other thing, I think sometimes when people are looking at working with a designer, sometimes it seems like it's a big project. They want like the big house.
Yeah.
And I say come down to what we call an MVP, a minimal viable product. Get down to what you basically need, because then all of a sudden it becomes much more affordable.
Yeah.
Add on later. When your business grows, your website should grow. So, it's kind of an evolution. So I see it's definitely a different space. It's not necessarily WordPress, I would say, can be in the website builder space, but it's also an animal unto itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And we do some WordPress work. I mean, if you coming to us and you say, hey, I need a blog too. WordPress of all the CMS is probably the easiest one to work with for an end user. So if it's a site that requires that, we will do that. We do WordPress sites as well, but we also offer pure custom HTML sites that if you don't need the blog, why go through that hassle is kind of a thing. We can make it faster without that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. So, someone looking for a custom site, like what were some reasons they would go custom instead of to a free one or one of the plug and play ones that we were talking about?
I would say a lot of those templated WordPress, website builders, and even WordPress is bloated excess code. Stuff you're trying to find stuff to say you maybe need to tweak something. It can be 7 or 10 layers deep, and you spend hours trying to get it to look the way you want.
Yeah.
Then there is the concept of design. So when a good website designer is going to work through this, I focus on user experience design. So my goal is that when a visitor comes to your site, they have such a great experience. They come back again. They become customers. They stay customers. And there's a lot of theory behind how that works. Website theory, like looking at how people read on websites, understanding accessibility issues. Can people see contrast really well? And I love that's a passion of mine. Colors and fonts have meanings. So the color and the font you pick, does that align with what your business is and the message you're trying to send?
Yeah.
And then finding images that are appropriate and images that work well. Not every image is going to scale correctly.
Yeah.
And everything obviously has got to be mobile first. I mean, I design for the phone first, and then I move up.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work on the phone, it's not going to work anywhere. So I would say, if you really want a really clean message and a nice, efficient, modern look, you really want to work with a designer who can help you with the layout, help you with the font selection, make sure all those little things about can people see it. I mean, ever see a dark background with a light cut with a gray font?
Mm-hmm.
Can't read it. Those are things that designers should be looking for.
Yeah.
And also can help bring in some more sophistication to the whole process for you. And then, of course, there's the back end part of it that most people don't think about, which is the code's clean. I'm not having one template for many people. I'm having something built. You're having something built just for you, so I don't have to have a lot of extraneous stuff that can break or be hacked or, building. A lot of times with WordPress, it's functionality by plugins. They build with plugins, constant plugins, and every one of those plugins updates. And once one of those things updates, it's possible that something you've configured breaks. And that's the other thing that happens with custom code. You control the what your revisions are. You're not worrying about an upgrade coming in from WordPress or GoDaddy or Wix that's going to maybe break something in your website, because they're going to push that down whether you want it there or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that control of You change your website when you're ready to change it, when you've had time to test it before those changes get put into a live environment, and all of a sudden your customer comes on and, gee, they can't get a hold of you, or the piece of information they wanted to find is gone, and
Yeah.
you want them to have that information. And if you're doing e-commerce, it's even more scary to me to have that kind of changes going on and have potentially, a potential of losing revenue.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And I say that's cool all the time, I'm telling you. And yeah, I could definitely see that being a huge benefit because, like you had said, people oftentimes look at, they might look at the color of the website, make sure all that stuff is good, and they're aware of SEO, but they don't even stop to think that, the website itself could be just slowing everything down with how inefficient the code is.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's an extra step that people don't even think about that, but Google checks it for SEO purposes.
Sure does. And that's a good point you bring up about being searchable and stuff. That's all about content. That's the other thing a designer should be able to help you with is content. It's not about just writing a couple of paragraphs, or what I see are these long books of stuff. I don't know about you, but the last time I saw anything that long on a website, I went, next. You only read a couple of paragraphs in. They've done studies on this, so you really want someone who can help you with that, to lay out that content in a way that's efficient for the reader, and improves. You're right, your searchability, and helps the spiders crawl it efficiently.
Yeah.
Because if the Google spiders come in, they just see a big slug of stuff. They just see, oh, lots of content. They kind of pass by it. They don't. They're looking for ways to see that. They're looking for headings and stuff to help. They want that content broken up to make it easier to read.
Yeah, the way a human would read it. That's kind of how they go about it.
Yeah. And so if you've got 3,000 words in one big slug of data, it gets lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so we're going to take a quick second here to stop for our sponsors, and we'll be right back. I'm going to read you guys a list of some of my favorite books that I've been reading lately. So, we got The Pumpkin Plan, fantastic book given to me by a friend. Extreme Ownership. Let's see what we got. One Thing, 10X Rule, Networking Like a Pro, Pitch Perfect, Fierce Conversations. You name it, there's some amazing books. Think and Grow Rich, The Business Plan, you name it. So point is, head over to nhbusinessshow.com/audible to get a chance at getting one of these books for free with your 30-day trial membership of Audible. It's amazing. There's so much knowledge out there being thrown around that we're not reading. So if you don't have the time, but you want to be reading books, reach out, do it. It's amazing. I like the custom websites a lot. And I go on this all the time because right now I'm using, it's called Blog Site. It's essentially just like a Wix or any of those. Just like, it's less efficient than it's like awful. So it's fun to see better, more powerful websites. And I'm finally in the spot where I have one coming in now finally, but oh my God, it's just a mess.
That's the other thing. I think people, think, I can work on it myself. It's kind of like having, working on your own car.
Yeah.
It's a great idea until you get in there and you realize that there's a lot more than just a few bolts here.
Yeah.
You can build your own website and you can manage it and maintain it doing these tools, but all the time you spend on that, you're not building your business.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good to have an expert come in that can do that for you in an efficient manner. Mm-hmm. And do it well, and then you can focus on growing. The business owner can focus on growing their business.
Yeah.
That's kind of the other thing I think we do is we help you. I'm really very much a business person. Mm-hmm. I've been in business my entire life in one form or another, and websites are about growing businesses. But you also have to know when to hire somebody to help you grow your business, and that's where a good designer, a good design team, or developer can help you with that, because we can come in and even sometimes just doing some maintenance on an existing site that's not bad. It's decent, but just needs some tweaks. Be surprised how many sites can just, with a couple little tweaks, can be improved even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's actually a fun idea I was going to ask you earlier. So do you guys come in and say someone brings your website and they're like, we just want to make this better. Like, do you go in and kind of work with them a bit on that?
Yeah, I actually I've done that. We got a quote out somebody just for that. They had a website built. They really weren't getting, it was kind of built a while ago. They're not getting a lot of support. They wanted some tweaks made. And I looked at the site and I said, yeah, I don't see a lot of problems with it. So we went through what kind of changes they need to be made. And yeah, I'm saying, sure, we can go in and we'll fix it up and give you that. And we also offer maintenance packages to people as well. So if you've got lots of changes going through, like if you're changing photos a lot or something, recommended a lot for WordPress sites because you do want those updates. We'll help manage them so they get tested before they go into crapping out your live system. We'll find out where it breaks first. But yeah, so we offer maintenance packages as well for people who do a lot of changes. But yeah, we'll go in and just help people clean up their code a little bit. That's why we do WordPress as well. You need to make changes. Content does need to get updated periodically. Everyone knows when they've seen an old site.
Yeah.
Right? And content is what people come back for. Mm-hmm. So updating content is something that needs to happen on a regular basis to keep people coming back. So we do. We will tweak out existing sites. I mean, it's a big world out there. A lot of people already have sites, and once that investment's been made, it's kind of hard to sit there and say, well, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
And I do encourage people to do a redesign periodically.
Yeah.
Just like your business grows and changes, so should your online presence. It should reflect that. But it shouldn't be something, if you're maintaining it, that change can happen gradually, as opposed to having to, wait 10 years and, decide to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. That was weird. I'm gonna yawn.
Oh.
So, what was I going to say? I don't even know where to go with that. That's really good, though. I'm trying to think about how to help other entrepreneurs. I don't know. I guess we can talk, basics, or what do you want? What do you think?
I can talk about my journey about becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah, we do that too. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's been kind of a journey. It's been it's been scary.
Yeah.
Still going?
Yeah, we can go.
Yeah, my husband and I, we kind of sat together and we were both not happy with our work situations and decided to make that big change. We're gonna make that, we're gonna go out. We're gonna build and design websites, and we actually took the first class together, which was ended up being more of a Adobe Creative Cloud Dreamweaver type of class, and this is where we had the big aha, because we get to the end of the class and it's a culmination. It's a more of an overview class of going through design type stuff and code, a little bit of code. I don't like Dreamweaver because you don't really see the code so much in the front anymore. It makes me crazy. I don't know how it works. Yeah. So I wanted to learn. That's why I learned to code. I wanted to know how things work. But we go through the class, and the big end of the class is you got to build a website as your project. That's going to be your big final grade. So we get there, and we get to the end, and I've got this design down. I got 6 pages of this website. I'm using Google's material design, which is for a theme. It's like a flat design. I'm thinking it looks cool, right? And my husband looks over and it looks pretty, but I can't get things to function the way they want. I know it's technically possible, but I'm getting frustrated. And of course, the teacher looks at us and says, "You're kind of going beyond the scope of this class." It's like, yeah, but that's what I do. Yeah. But so it looks great, but I'm having issues with it functioning correctly. Yeah. My husband's sitting next to me. I look over. It's awful looking. I'm sorry to say. I mean, he's using Comic Sans for a font, which is just terrible. And I mean, it's not totally bad, but boy, it's cheesy. And but it's doing cool stuff. He's got a video in there that he's got going on that's timed to has music going, so the music is timed to, it's basically some taillights going off and on. He's got the music timed to the taillights, and he's got this playing automatically. He's got other stuff going on. And he looks up and goes, "Yours looks so nice." I said, "Yeah, but yours is doing cool stuff." I was like, okay, this is it. You can make it do cool things. Yeah. I can make it look beautiful. We're good. Yeah. So we decided, okay, this has potential. We've done a class together. We're living together. We haven't killed each other yet. No, let's try and go into business together. Yeah. Once we made that decision, going through the paperwork was kind of pretty rudimentary. You know,
Yeah.
we did the LLC, getting the name from the state, all that stuff. You know, doing all the cleanup stuff because that's what I would do. Is, you know, it's the business person in me. The hard part has been learning to sell. I've never been really into sales. He's been in sales, but only more of a retail sales where customers came to him. So going out and having to find customers has been
Yeah.
interesting. It's that's probably, I think, the scariest part for us is, you know, finding customers, and when you get a customer, finding the next one, and you know, because don't customers no eat. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. So learning how to do that selling. So I said, okay, I'm game to talk to anybody, but I still had this. I'm an introverted extrovert, I guess. Is that
Yeah.
is that the phrase?
Maybe.
Something like that, where I can be incredibly shy,
Mhm.
and then once I get out of my shell, I'm fine. I did a lot of women's only networking groups, which were really helpful to me because it was very safe for me. Really and had some, you know, met some great women who have coached and encouraged me along the way. Polishing that 1 minute elevator speech, which I change still probably every 2 months because I'm getting more refined about how my messaging is coming across. It's all about the messaging. So that's probably been the biggest, scariest part, is getting that done. You know, the back office part, setting up the, you know, the accounting software, finding the tax person, doing the legal stuff. I spent over 2 decades working in accounting and finance, got that down cold. Yeah, was the other part that was kind of an interesting journey, and it's been some parts thrilling and other parts terrifying.
Yeah.
I call it the TNT. I don't know which one it's going to be today, but we're going to go through it. You know.
That's too funny.
Yeah.
That's I like that. Like you start off, you're not quite sure, and then you're like, you know, I'm gonna do it, and then you realize all the mess that comes with that, and but I like you mentioned the sales part, because sales is one of my favorite things. I used to sell cars. I still do a little on the side,
Yeah.
and it's so much fun. Like when you actually finally start getting into it, and you're like, oh, I can do this. It's so much fun, and I'm selling and making money, and
Yeah.
it's good. It's like, it's a good life.
Once I got past some of the fear, and I had to get over myself, honestly. You know, you can Google New Hampshire web design, and you'll get 20, 30 pages of Google results, you know, and, you know, pick a number, right?
Yeah.
And trying to get ranked in there is going to be, you know, it's challenging. I mean, even, you know, unless you've got a team of SEO people, that's all they do, and that's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've got to go out and, you know, really work to convince people, and I'm willing to put, you know, my, you know, money where my mouth is and deliver a product to someone that's going to work. And I have confidence in my design skills, and I'm confident in my husband's coding skills, and everything in between we can figure out. One way or another, we will figure this out.
Yeah.
So.
I like that. So, because I think we met through Lucy Chesna.
Yes.
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 And yeah, so you mentioned having a strong network of female entrepreneurs, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, I met you through Lucy, and
Yeah.
you know, people in that circle. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I started there, and I've just been continuing to expand and, you know, do more networking and doing one-on-ones. I do one-on-ones even when it's not anything. I do one-on-ones with anybody pretty much.
Mhm.
Just to, even if I don't think they don't have to be a customer. They just have to be somebody I can learn from, and maybe I can help.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who they know. You know, and vice versa, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, I met Lucy at a networking event. Next thing you know, I'm getting an email from you. I'm like, okay, that works for me. But I've also just met with a guy who does digital marketing analytics, which I think is such a great piece.
Yeah.
That I met through another networking group for a woman who does something else altogether. She works on a network marketing type of product.
Yeah.
You went to, you know, it's like, okay. And, you know, no learning ever goes wasted.
Yeah.
So, you know, learning about all these other people out there. I've been amazed at how many people are of some form or another self-employed, either through a network marketing product or their own products. You know, whether it's a tradesperson or a craftsperson or coaching, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the industry is growing, and people want to be entrepreneurs.
Yes.
And I think people, romanticizes it a little bit, but it is like the only way to get out of a 9 to 5 that you don't want to work at.
I did a lot of years, decades of 9 to 5, and I worked for some big companies. We're talking, Fortune 100s, Fortune 500s. Boy, I don't want to go back to that.
Yeah.
There's some security there. Definitely, I think what held me back for a long time was that when you work at a 9 to 5, whether it's a small company, mid-sized company, or a big company, knowing that paycheck's there every week. Yeah, there's some security there. It does take a bit of willing to be a cliff jumper.
Yeah.
And trust that there's water when you get down to the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I like that. Cool. So thank you so much for joining us. How do people get a hold of you if they want to talk websites, any of that stuff?
They can get a hold of us we have a contact form on our website, which is newedgewebservices.com, or they can call us at 603-670-9972. We will pick up the phone or at least give you a call back. I also have an email available. It's lisa.popa, so lisa.popa at newedgewebservices.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been a lot of fun, and I wish the best.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to roll into a last word from our sponsors, and I will catch you all next time. We got some great things coming down the horizon, everyone. So we are putting out a book, as most of you already know. Everything's being laid out. I'm pretty much set to go. The content's being put together. Hopefully we'll be ready by the end of the year. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be amazing.